We're back, people, and today we're bringing on film on Tua Tagovailoa, Miami Dolphins quarterback. Played an outstanding game, probably his best game in quite some time. Like he usually plays great, exactly like he does in this, but he has like 1, 2, 3 mistakes that really take away from his overall performance. He didn't have any of those in this game. It was a near flawless performance. Maybe a couple throws he'd like back, but they were like his negative plays in quotes, but overall, like, they weren't even that big of a deal. Like, he was on point. His pocket mobility and awareness was the best it's been all season long. That's where he really stood out to me. Can't wait to really go over that with you guys. Just hitting deep balls down the field, accurate, anticipation, timing, all that stuff. Really, really exceptional game. Great job from the whole team. Just taking care of business, going on the road, beating a team, blowing them out that you're supposed to blow out. They've done it all season long. Not every team does that. It's really, really nice to see. Dolphins get cover one. He got the exact look he wants. You heard them talk about it in the post-game conference and stuff like that, that Tua checked to this. He got the exact look he wanted. And this is how you know Tua's not throwing to spots. I said this on Twitter, that Tyreek Hill, he's running a slot fade, and first of all, he's absolutely ridiculous. He runs a slot fade here, and this guy has outside leverage. Their safety's playing to the side of the field, so he's playing one-on-one. But when a DB has outside leverage like this, and you take an inside release on a slot fade, no other receivers in the NFL can do this. Like, this is not what you're taught to do. You're supposed to get the outside. And you can see how Tua adjusts this, because he threw this ball twice last week, right? He threw one to Tyreek, one to Waddle, and he threw it with a lot more touch and kind of threw it to a spot here. But you can see he adjusts. He sees Tyreek takes that inside release as he's about to release it, so he puts it more on a line right to Hill in stride, just makes that nice adjustment. Really good job from Tua Hill. Making that, adjustment pre-snap for the coverage, getting the exact look that he wanted. Once he motions H.N. out of the backfield, he gives a little signal right there to Hill. You can see it. And then hits Tyreek down the field. You can see him make that quick adjustment too. Also post-snap on his throw. So just really good work. Love seeing that from Tua. He just played a really good game. Made no major mistakes. And if the offense looked like they did earlier in the season, like as good as they've been since the Broncos game in this one. And I think that's really important because the defense is coming on with how they've played the last, handful of weeks. This team can be very, very dangerous going into, the postseason. 3rd and 4, I feel like the Dolphins did a really good job of keeping third downs manageable for the most part. They get, they motion H.N. out. Basically, the option here, hit Waddle. I like how they used H.N. in this game. I'm going to get an H.N. breakdown probably out later today. Just overall, his usage. I think he's not even 100% yet, and he still looked great, which I think is huge for the offense. You can see how much better they are with him in the game, and he didn't even really get to play a whole ton until the 4th. But this ball, this is, typical Tua, throwing the ball with timing, anticipation, and then perfect placement. They're running cover 2 here, and he's throwing into, this triangle of defenders, plus this guy's also an extra body, and he throws it into this, puts it behind him to try to protect him from the safety. That's just perfect placement, perfect timing on the throw. This is, exactly what Tua does at his best. He does this throughout every single game. They didn't even do it that much in this game. He only threw 24 passes. His stats could have been so much better. And I know people, they always go to the stats to talk about the MVPs and stuff like that. Personally, I don't really care. Tua could have so many more touchdowns, but they have a ridiculous amount of rushing touchdowns from their running backs, a lot more than most teams do. And to me, it's unless those touchdown runs are super long, those could easily be quarterback touchdowns. It doesn't really matter how you're getting them. If your quarterback's, orchestrating all the way down the field, there was one in this game right before half, orchestrate all the way down the field, and Mostert gets a 1-yard rushing touchdown. To me, that more of that credit goes to Tua and the rest of, the passing game. And that's why, you got to watch the film to see these performances because Tua was playing, elite in this game. This is probably one of the plays the Dolphins offense would like back. It's Tua creating off script. This, to me, he looked really solid. He didn't get a ton of pressure on him early. You can see him try to go through his progressions, and then it's just a Waddle drop, and just, stuff wasn't there. I actually think Washington on some of these early downs did a better job than I expected, actually, of, taking this stuff away. Other than the 2 deep shots to Tyreek, Tua did have to come off his first read a couple of times and make things happen, which I feel like he did do a good job. He sees stuff's not there, finds stuff, look with his eyes, sees Waddle coming open, and then Waddle just drops it. To me, I know people will talk about the Waddle drop stuff. To me, this is a different type of drop from Waddle. Sometimes, usually when he's making these drops, it's because he's in a contested situation down the field. This is just a pure concentration drop. Obviously, he can catch this, but you can see he takes his eyes off of it and ready to turn and run. So it's not something I'm like super concerned about from this specific play. But yeah, you got to hang on to that because there was so much room to work with. Then the 3rd and 7 deep bomb. Commanders in cover 3. They do the cheat out motion. Exactly get the look that they want to this side of the field. They throw Tyreek on the post. And now, first of all, that play by Tyreek's absolutely ridiculous. I don't think people understand, like, to flip like this, 180, full speed, maintain your speed, take your eyes off the ball, then locate the ball last second without breaking stride. That's absolutely ridiculous. One of the best plays you'll ever see a wide receiver make in terms of tracking. Also, great job by Tua. They bring pressure. He slides to the right. Look how he slides to the right, creates time for him, and also gives him a good window. And that, makes him, by sliding to the right, put that ball to the outside shoulder. Plus, it is cover 3. He could have thrown it, like, in stride to where Tyreek was going this way, too, on his angle, and it wouldn't have mattered. But just based on this, because Tyreek's a different, animal. But from the quarterback's perspective, he sees this middle of the field safety. He is supposed to throw this a little more towards the numbers, give him more of a one-on-one with the corner, which is a good decision from Tua. That's why the ball floats to the outside a little bit. It's just, with it being Tyreek, you probably could have thrown that a little more to the inside as well, and it still would have been a touchdown. But that's, first of all, great arm talent. You can see sliding, not perfect. Usually with Tua, when his balls have to be like perfect, he has to be in perfect rhythm, his timing. He has to slide out of it, throw it a little bit, falling backwards with pressure on his face, and delivers it still right in stride down the field. Tyreek didn't have to break stride. He'd have to turn, but that was more just a slight miscommunication. Didn't matter either way. That's an insane play from both of them. Another 3rd down conversion. Dolphins so good on 3rd down right now, which is big because they were great at 3rd down last year, then had like a struggle part of the season where that went away. I think there was a part of the season where they started struggling at 3rd down in this game or this season, and now these past couple weeks they've looked much better, which is huge. Just good adjustment for Tua. Like, they're showing 2 high safety pre-snap, but with the depth that they're at, they could rotate single high. So, and he's seeing pressure here, but they drop out of it and then go into cover 2. Tua is able to recognize this, and then just move this guy with his eyes, get him out of the way. This is what Tua does. Move the guy with his eyes, make this throw behind, hit Tyreek right in stride, maybe a little high, but I understand why he put it there to get it over the second level defenders. This film is so weird with how foggy it is, but this is just, you can see the eyes there. Boom, look at his eyes the whole time just to move 20. He's throwing the ball like over here, and he puts the perfect touch on it, hits Hill down the field. Just so many big-time plays, big-time moments. This is what Tua does best. This is like the first time we get to see Tua really maneuvering the pocket, like making like a rush or miss like this, and then resetting his feet, boom, hitting Waddle down the field. This was another big-time situation, big-time conversion here. He's feeling the pressure up in his face, like Liam gets beat here, boom, slide, reset your feet instantly, quick release, hit Waddle, perfect accuracy. This is just really good stuff. Like, his progressions over to this side of the field, he doesn't even really get time to work on it because Eichenberg does lose this rep. It is a tough matchup. He was going against some tough guys here, Jonathan Allen, but he just comes off of it, boom, reset those feet, fine Waddle. That's really beautiful stuff. This is all before halftime, getting down the field, making these big-time conversions in big-time situations, and I just loved how he looked even a little more explosive too, as you'll see on some of these other pocket maneuverings. And if he can do that, like every single game, God, this offense it's very, very tough to stop. This is out of halftime and just converting 3rd down. It's like a 3rd and short. First read to Waddle, doesn't like it. They're in cover 2. He sees that this guy's taking it away. Then he comes back to the mesh right here. Just wants to be on the same page with Tyreek. Sees that he's going to sit down, just get the conversion, make things look easy. See that he's just being comfortable. He's not trying to force anything coming off of it. Find his guy over the middle of the field. Boom. Sometimes you don't always have to have those big explosive plays with Tyreek. This little stuff matters too, because this is just a 3rd and 3, and this stuff, really helps out throughout a game. And I like to see that Tua was just making insanely good decisions. This is how he was playing last week versus the Jets until that big pick 6. Like, literally, he was playing just like this. It's just that one big play. You take that one big negative away, and he's having top-tier games like this, and that's exactly what he did against Washington. Seam reel slide RPO. Dolphins didn't run a whole ton of it, but, it's definitely always still a part of the playbook. Good play by Tua. Getting Craycraft back involved. His first catch since he's returned, which is nice to see. I think he can be a very quality part of the offense, reliable receiver. Good job by him specifically on this play. He's the seam route, and he just recognized the coverage, and he just flips his head around right away, feels that this is where that space is going to be. Tua and him on the same page. He puts it more on that back shoulder, keep him protected. It's a 2nd and 7 situation. Also, Tua on the move, on like a move RPO type thing situation. He gets it to exactly where he wants to. He was just under control and demand the entire game. And then probably my favorite Tua play of the game, the free rusher. We won't talk about the other guy that struggles with the free rusher, but he just is able to avoid this. You got to know where you're going to be hot. This stuff happens. They're sliding protection to the right here. Achane's motioning around. He knows this guy's coming in free, and he just makes a miss the whole way. He's ready for it. We've seen Tua do this exact move before, set this up, and I feel like I hadn't seen it in a while all season. I was like, ooh, I'm waiting for this move where Tua gives like a little fake and then steps up. Like, I've been literally waiting for this exact move, or the move where like he spins out of it, because we hadn't seen it in a while, and he looked real good here to set this up. Give him a little hezzy there. This is like him versus the Cardinals a few years ago. And then, boom, the quick release. Look how quick he releases this ball out of that and hits Julian Hill. Great play by Julian Hill, too. Julian Hill had 2 catches in this game, and he showed great toughness, play straight, and contact balance after, because he carried his guy for multiple yards, which I think is an area he can add to the value to the offense that Smythe doesn't have. Smythe is, he'll fall forward for like a yard or two. Definitely gives you more. Gesicki wouldn't gain any yards after the catch. He's a better receiver, but he wouldn't gain any yards after the catch. Smythe will fall forward for, a couple yards, but he's not going to, make anyone miss or carry them with insane play strength. This is where I think Julian Hill can add value, but first, boom, Tua, quick release. That release is insane. Look how quick that is. Boom, and hits Hill on, like, good placement, too. Throw it to, like, his inside shoulder away from where this defender is to allow him to transition upfield and pick up, an extra 8 yards after the catch, which is great. Love seeing Hill involved. I know he had that fumble, a few weeks ago, but if he can hang on to that ball, I think he can add some value in this part of the game, as you'll see, in the 2 plays he had in this one. Last play, they're going to break down for Tua, and yes, we're breaking down a throwaway and incompletion, just because it was another great work within the pocket. He doesn't have any time to really, go through his progressions here. Nothing's really open anyways, but that's why I really like this play, because they, run a stun up close, up front, and he's instantly able to just get out of the way. Like, they win very nicely here. Robert Hunt is taking it slightly out of position, and boom, Tua gives a little pump fake, reset, boom, reset those feet, dip those shoulders. Look how he like dips his shoulder to reduce the surface area of where the guy's gonna hit him. He's done this multiple times. Reduce the surface area of your body, then reset your feet, and then he's ready to just basically throw this away. He even tries to take a chance to Achane down the field, which would have been sick if it was completed. But I do love the pocket awareness, his maneuvering within the pocket this game. Just really, really great stuff from Tagovailoa. If he can do this, we've seen it throughout the years that he has this element to his game. I think it's an underrated. He's always had great pocket awareness, but sometimes he doesn't have the athleticism to really create a bunch off script. Like, he definitely can do it. I just wouldn't say that's like his biggest strength. And then he has games like this game, the Chargers game, where he's doing it at a super high level. And if he can just do that a little bit more each and every game, like, this is a very, very tough offense to stop. One of the toughest ever, especially if they're getting some good tight end play at the receiver spots, because they have great receivers. If their tight ends can make an impact on the receiving game, because now they have Achane who's making a bigger impact on the receiving game. So if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.